So predictably, my take on Charlie Kirk being a better man than Martin Luther King Jr. has gotten the so-called black community's panties in a collective bunch. Let's take a look at a few comments here and then I'll respond and give my thoughts on this particular discussion. Here's the first one. All the brothers hating in here, haha. This is one of many problems I have with these people. If you are the least bit critical of Martin Luther King Jr., you are automatically branded as a hater. I said that Charlie Kirk was a better man than MLK, and N-words are always the first to jump in and disagree for no other reason but that MLK was black and Charlie was white. I could say that Charlie Kirk was a better cook than MLK, and I guarantee you people would flood my comments talking about, no, that's not true. MLK was a Michelin star chef according to his closest friends. I could say that Charlie Kirk was a better tennis player than MLK. And I guarantee you that there would be no shortage of you people saying, nuh-uh, Martin Luther King Jr.'s serve was clocked at XYZ miles an hour and his backhand cross-court smash was unstoppable. You people need to open your ears, turn on your brain, and take off your N-word goggles. If I say that Charlie Kirk was a better cook than Martin Luther King Jr., that doesn't mean that I'm saying that MLK was a bad cook. If I say that Charlie Kirk was a better tennis player than MLK, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that MLK was not a good tennis player. Guys, this is extreme racial idolatry, nothing more. You people can't look past the color of someone's skin for the purposes of thinking critically. Saying that Charlie Kirk was a better man than Martin Luther King Jr. isn't hating, and to be honest with you, that really has more to do with Charlie than Martin Luther King Jr. Here's another one. This is a good one. I just started cracking up when I read this. I didn't even know Donovan was still here. For anyone unfamiliar, yes, the Negro is dead serious. There probably would be no Charlie without Donovan. This is truly a pioneer of the dark red pill. Personally, I think Charlie was an inbred lazy loser. All red pillars are rejects. So first he admits that he didn't watch the video. He said in his comment, he started cracking up when he read this, meaning like most low IQ individuals, he's responding to the title without even watching the video. That's problem number one. Number two, he says, I didn't even know Donovan was still here. Yet, here you are. Saying you didn't know I was here is like it's like these college fatties that Myron deep fries every, I don't know, week and a half or so. They say, well, I don't know much about you, or I don't really know who you are. Oh, and I'm sorry, what did you say your name was? Yes, my channel is dead, and yes, I am irrelevant to you people, but you're still here. Pretending not to know who I am or that I'm still around, to me, that's being as transparent as an open window. Number three, Charlie Kirk was not red-pilled. You want to know why? Because he strongly advocated for getting married and starting families, which is quite literally the opposite of what we teach here in this community. You people think that anyone who stands on business and isn't a liberal or buys into the woke agenda is automatically red-pilled. And if we really want to think about it, I don't think Charlie was either red-pilled or blue-pilled. He was a good man who did good things and had a good family who died way too soon. Then, of course, this idiot signs off and shows his true colors by saying he thinks that Charlie was an inbred who was lazy. Really, what makes you think that? Oh, that's right, Charlie was white. Lazy? You say a lazy inbred? The man started what will be the most influential conservative movement in this country's history at the tender age of 18 years old. Dude started TPUSA 10 minutes after his balls dropped. And you're gonna call him a lazy inbred? Nah, bruh, that's just you hating on Charlie because you're a racist. It's as simple as that. Here's another one. Stop, or, and then he puts a period, what did Charlie Kirk do? King won a Nobel Peace Prize. Again, my statement has nothing to do with accomplishments and everything to do with character. There is no doubt that as of right now, MLK has many more achievements than Charlie Kirk, including a freaking Nobel Peace Prize. It don't get no bigger than that, guys. But do you know who else won a Nobel Peace Prize? Yeah, Henry Kissinger, who was accused of war crimes in the Vietnam War. He also regularly blackmailed politicians and other world leaders. Sounds like a swell guy, right? Henry Kissinger did some terrible things, yet he still won the Nobel Prize. So just because Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Peace Prize, that does not speak to his character. Now, that isn't meant to diminish MLK's Nobel Prize. But even though it is an incredible accomplishment, it is not the end-all be-all in terms of a man's character, which, again, was at the very core of King's I Have a Dream speech and ideology. His words, gentlemen, not mine. Now, MLK's marital indiscretions does not negate his accomplishments. But again, this is not about accomplishments. This is about character. Remember, MLK said himself that he dreamed of a country where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But as soon as someone who looks like me points out that MLK smashed snow bunnies on the side and engaged in orgies outside of his marriage, now all of a sudden we want to question what cheating is. Black women all over this country, American black women, they all vilify black men who cheat. I remember one chick a while back actually called him Martin Luther King because he cheated on his wife. Yet, as soon as another black man points out that this was a major flaw in his character as a man and a husband, now it's, well, cheating wasn't the worst thing in the world, or Basil Denson actually calling it a crime to give an opinion on another country's foreign policy. You people are always obfuscating, you people are always moving goalposts, and you people are always muddying waters when someone is critical of a black person. Guys, this is the kind of racial blindness and idolatry that has destroyed black people and has turned them into mindless N-words who are blinded by the color of their own skin. You people can't think past your own blackness to even acknowledge that not all black leaders were perfect. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. was human and an imperfect person, but that doesn't mean he wasn't still a great man. And great men have their faults. And one of MLK's major faults is the same fault that any of us would have if we had that kind of success, access, and that, of course, is women. And never, ever forget, JFK himself had to call Martin Luther King Jr. to tell him to tone down the sexual escapades. This is JFK himself, the first, probably the most infamous philanderous president we've ever had. Philanderous means he cheated on his wife all the time. For that guy to pick up the phone and tell MLK, hey man, you got to tone down the sexual escapades, that is definitely saying something. So let me get this straight. One president, JFK, told MLK, stop having orgies and cheating on your wife, while Donald Trump, the other president, spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Now, I'm sure that Charlie Kirk had faults too. I remember a while back he admitted to having a porn addiction. Obviously, he's come clean about that. He's gotten through it, et cetera, et cetera. He's admitted to being imperfect. But you people want to act like MLK is above reproach and criticism? The main difference, again, between Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk is character. And character is defined by what you do when nobody's looking. It is defined as overcoming temptation. When nobody was looking, MLK was smashing white girls. When nobody was looking, Charlie Kirk was writing love letters to his wife every Saturday. When King was tempted by sins of the flesh, he gave in and fell short many, many times. Charlie Kirk's character simply would not allow him to betray his wife and the mother of his children in the worst way. Look at the way Coretta Scott King talked about Martin Luther King Jr. Look at her eyes, and then look at Erica Kirk's eyes when she talks about her late husband, Charlie Kirk. There is a big difference. And again, I want to make this crystal clear that as of right now, MLK is far more accomplished and 259% deserves his own holiday. The man changed the course of American history, but Charlie Kirk was a better man and a better husband. Now, I know a lot of you people want to say, well, we don't know what Charlie Kirk did behind closed doors. No, we don't. But we damn sure know what MLK did behind closed doors. So you people can miss me with this disingenuous bad faith rebuttal about what we don't know. One man gave into temptation, cheated on, embarrassed, and disrespected his wife publicly. The other simply did not. And when all is said and done, Charlie Kirk may very well have accomplished more after his death than even MLK. Oh my God, Donovan, that is absolute blasphemy. How dare you say that Charlie Kirk might accomplish more than MLK? He was the leader of the civil rights movement. Yes, he was. But look at the black community now, and you tell me what MLK would think. Since Martin Luther King's death, the black community has devolved into a cesspool for which there is no return and no redemption. Turning Point USA, conversely, is poised to literally replace the Republican National Committee and restore the good name of conservatives. There is no comparison. Here in 2025, the black community is an effing joke, while TPUSA is going to change the very fabric of our country from the ground up. And you want to know what the really sad thing is that Martin Luther King Jr. would be absolutely shocked and appalled if he were alive today to see what the so-called black community's become. N-words are the reason why MLK can't rest in peace. The people Charlie Kirk inspired, the people he influenced, will ensure that he, Kirk, will rest in peace while MLK continues to turn over in his grave. I'll be discussing this further this afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I welcome anyone at all who wants to debate me on this, because I'd like to sharpen my debate skills. Okay, that's going to be sort of the next evolution of Donovan Sharp, talking to people who disagree with me. Kevin Samuels did it. Andrew Tate does it. Myron Gaines does it. Pearl did it for a while. And of course, the late, great Charlie Kirk did it. And every single one of them enjoyed enormous growth and success in the content creation space. So I might be a little bit late to the party, but, you know, better late than never, I guess they say. So I would strongly encourage anyone who disagrees with me on this, join me. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern, and we can have a respectful, spirited discussion and maybe learn something from each other along the way. See you guys this afternoon.